Proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I seems to have saved Tindimwale. Let me bite the bullet for him. Honorable Speaker, we have come so far in terms of equality and equity, and I want to first commend the working group on the 2/3 gender rule implementation. Honorable Speaker, oftentimes when we speak about women, we find that the concern for Kenyans was these gender top-up positions, how are they going to be arrived at? There was a general feeling that perhaps it is a preserve for WAGs, it is a preserve for people who are connected, and not for that grassroots woman who is very well-versed to the needs of the common wananchi at the ground. Honorable Speaker, as we agitate for this, and I often say that I always will back a woman who is worth backing. I know the veracity of that statement sometimes does not sit well with radical feminists, but it is very important that if we are going to have and justify an extra budget and cost for gender top-up positions in this House and in Senate, let us bring women who have the capacity to aggravate and push for the women's issues. I also want to commend my chair, Honorable Murugara, former chair, Honorable Speaker, as I have been affected by the de-whipping of committees. But I am grateful to have served as a member of Justice and Legal Affairs Committee. And I will continue to serve diligently, Honorable Speaker, wherever I will be in, and in whatever capacity, Honorable Speaker, because I believe that I am like the mustard seed. Wherever you put me, I will germinate. So I commend the NADCO report and the 2/3 gender principle. Let us fast track this issue so that we do not again find ourselves as a House improperly constituted as per the Constitution that we passed in 2010. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Very well, Honorable Njeri Maina. You are a promising young legislator, committees notwithstanding. So continue doing your work very strongly from where you are. Honorable Tom Kajwang.
Mr. Speaker, there are several things that arises from this motion, especially the report of the committee. And I may not deal with all of them. I just want to speak from where the distinguished member for Nyeri has left it. And I differ with her, as I've differed and as I've spoken publicly about some of these things. Women issues, in my view, is not 2/3 representation in this House. Women issues are maternal health care. Women issues are capacity building for Mama Mboga to be able to be economically viable in her local environment. Women issues is about safe water for the mothers as they bring up their families. Women issues, it is so simplistic in my view, and this is really advanced by the political class, by the elite, who would wish that representation is a woman issue, because those of us who are
Yes, Honorable, what's your point of order? TJ, let's hear this point of order.
Mr. Speaker, is Honorable Kajwang in order to say that when we talk of the NADCO report, anything that we are legislating is only having women share these seats. And in any case, if we elected women or we brought women to parliament, when you are a leader, you are the voice of reason for your people. We have seen women school principals doing very well. They've done well because they were given a chance to lead in those institutions. Look at Honorable Gladys Wanga. She's doing very well in her capacity. So when we are urging and promoting this NADICO report to have the 2/3 representation, we mean women are peacemakers. With women on the table, we have the discussion. We are very much in order. If we miss the representation of women on the table, our issues will be forgotten, Mr. Speaker. I was having another conversation.
Order, Honorable Member. You know, I'm listening to you very carefully.
Yeah.
Honorable TJ is actually putting forward his story. He has not said all the things that you are saying. So let's allow Honorable TJ to have his story. Proceed, Honorable TJ.
Mr. Speaker, I hope you will add me time because I've listened to the veteran member, but I've not heard her advance anything which is out of order. I wish members would rise to speak about things which are out of order, not debates. Because every member, this is a house for debate, and any person is able to put across his or her issues without interruption. But let me, and so in all this, I find that discussing this 2/3 issue is an interesting thing, which we need to think through. Honorable Justice Maraga Emeritus declared that that house, the other house which I served, was unconstitutional and we should have been sent home. I do not know why Honorable Justice Koome is taking too long to declare also this house, because we will never get that formula at all. Because you see, we are trying to get into a situation in which we are forcing the law to do something which is out of ordinary. We are forcing the law to create a situation in which our mothers or our fathers produce more women or more girls to be able to effect these 2/3. It is impossible. We cannot use the Constitution or legislation for that matter to create that situation. It must be something outside, something biology, something outside the law to be able to provide. And did you remember, Mr. Speaker, come to think about it, that this issue is about 2/3 representation in parliament. How about 2/3 representation in civil service? How about 2/3 representation in the economic sector? Why is this aberration about representation? Just the fact that, and I have a lot of respect for the distinguished members who are in this house, but they do not come here as women. They become here as national leaders. And so, in my view, the member for Tharaka, for example, is able to advance all those issues that are affecting women of Tharaka as well as the whole country. And I would suppose that member for Nyeri would espouse all those issues that are affecting the men of Nyeri, and I know that their problems are many. But I am encouraged that the member for Nyeri is really representing them because he's really feeling it. So I expect that these are not gender issues. These are able leaders who are able to bring up issues that are concerning. And so when I look at the whole debate on this NADCO, I feel that it is something which is promoted more by political expediency than the need for law. I wish that we all went home, but not to do general election, to do a referendum on this women thing. You will be surprised. You will be surprised on this women representation. The answer that Kenyans will return, the verdict that Kenyans will return. I really would wish that the chair of the committee would propose that we go on referendum on this issue and try it afresh. You may find that the constitution would be so altered in such a manner that you'll never believe. I thank you, and in one way I support it because there are all those issues which had been advanced by the proposer. But on this issue, I object. Thank you.
Very well. Honorable Millie.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, of course, I do support the report whole. And just wish to say, Mr. Speaker, I didn't want to start this way, but Honorable Kajwang has forced me to go this direction. First of all, I'm very disappointed that he originally comes from my constituency. I am also disappointed that he is actually our grandson in Kolo Kanyala village in Rutsinga Island. I am disappointed that he is my protege as a law student. He actually, together with Honorable Chilo Ayako, used to study my notes. And that's why he has passed and is excellent. So I am disappointed that he has such retrogressive ideas. It means I didn't do my work well, but there is still room. I will do that work to change his mind about this. Mr. Speaker, I want to also apologize again because of all the factors I've indicated here for the next things that I'm going to say. That Honorable Kajwang, we may be educated and even have PhDs, but there are factors that cannot change. One of the factors that can't change is that as a man, you have never had periods and you have no clue what it is like to have periods. So please don't talk for me. Honorable Kajwang, you have never carried a baby for 9 months. Maybe there, me and you are the same. But most of the women here have carried babies for 9 months. So you cannot talk for them. They know what it is to labor for 9 months. So don't talk for us on issues of women. Don't purport to know issues relating to women. Mr. Speaker, it's the same way. I cannot talk about wet dreams because I don't know what it is like to ejaculate in the night, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we are all very different as men and as women. And therefore, let us keep our lane. Let us love our brothers. Let us love our boyfriends. Let us love our husbands. Let us love our uncles. Let us love our fathers. Similarly, please, also love your sisters, love your aunties, love your mothers, love your grandmothers. It's not a competition. Everybody knows that the world is skewed against us. What I'm telling Honorable Kajwang, in a very crude manner, is that you are not wearing my shoe. Only the wearer of the shoe knows. Mr. Speaker, I've said it here in this house before, that there were days that if I were to come here to debate the House on a critical issue, I wouldn't even come here. Why? Because I would be in a pool of blood. Because I would faint. I was being admitted in hospital every month for 3-4 days. Honorable Kajwang has not had to go that. And you expect me to go out there and compete equally with you. There is a load that I'm carrying as a woman that you have never carried and you don't know how to carry. And you will never know to carry because you have the privilege of being a man. The same way in the US and other countries, there is white privilege. And so a white person cannot lecture a black person because you have not lived the shoes of a black person. In the same manner, a man cannot lecture me about being a woman because you don't know. And if you actually look at all the things that bedevil women, they start with men, menopause, menstruation and all that. Even though we love you and you are a necessary evil in our lives. That's why we marry you and you have you as boyfriends and all that. But you are a necessary evil. So I want to lecture you, but also plead with you, my brother, and my grandson. Yes, that please, don't make it look like women, that this thing of affirmative action is by elite women. We had Honorable Shongo here, Mr. Speaker. She didn't know how to read and write when she came in here. She could only speak in Kiswahili. What is so elite about her? Is the fact that she can't read or write so elitist? She came from Samburu. That's where she grew up and she was raised. Right now, I've just come from where I've just gotten an award for working for women. And we were with the Chief Justice, Martha Koome. And I told her right there that I was not happy that she called us hot hair and all those kind of things. But I told her about it when it comes to women's issues, my tribe is woman, and I told off the people who are attacking her that what they need to look at are governance issues and not hound her out of office simply because she's a woman. Because we know some of the people hounding her out of office are themselves extremely corrupt. But they didn't raise those issues about men. It is only when you have Martha Koome or Nancy Baraza sitting in those pews. Those are the things, in those offices, those are the things that I'm telling you that I wear a special shoe that you don't understand. Try wearing this high shoe. Try having the kind of figure I have and the material I'm carrying behind my back and walk with high shoes with that material and tell me if you can manage it from there to... Honorable TJ, you don't know what we go through as women. And then enters menopause, hot flashes and all that. Honorable Kajwang, you don't know half the story of being a woman. And that is why we need affirmative action. And I want to tell you that being in this house, I have seen the impact and effect of affirmative action. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Njoki Ndung'u now sits in Supreme Court. Affirmative action. Cecil Mbarire is now governor. Affirmative action. Millie Odhiambo serving a 4th term. Affirmative action. Gladys Wanga, Governor Homa Bay. Affirmative action. Martha Wangare is having a term as a 3rd term. Affirmative action. Lesuda also doing a 3rd term. Affirmative action. Mr. Speaker, how did we get it here? We got here because we were given that platform. If I was not given that platform, when I went to Suba the first time, everybody was asking me the questions that TJ was not asked. I was asked why I don't have a child. I was asked where my house is or my home is. I was asked where I'm married. Nobody asks him those questions. My house was burnt. My bodyguard was killed. I know that kind of violence may be similar, but it's worse when you are a woman. Right now, Mr. Speaker, I'm living here because of a case of a girl who is 19 years, who was reported to have been raped, and people are mocking her on social media. I'm meeting her with her mother. People are mocking her on social media. The girl is actually going through depression, and we may lose her because of what she's going through. The men don't have to go through those kind of things, Mr. Speaker. And when we actually trivialize the things women go through and make it an elitist thing. Honorable Kajwang, I know your daughter. She sings very well in Nairobi Central SDA. She's an elite woman because she's grown in Nairobi. May she get that opportunity that also a rural woman may get. If you don't like us as the women in the house, think about your daughter. She's a wonderful woman, and she needs that chance, just like every other woman. Mr. Speaker, I want to say that I'm very happy that we are discussing this as we are commencing the International Women's Day, which is coming on the 8th of March. And it is a reminder that it is a long journey. From 1975 in Mexico, right up to now. We moved to Copenhagen, we moved to New York, we were in Nairobi with the Nairobi forward-looking strategies. Honorable Kajwang, it has been a journey. And for some of us, it is a lifelong journey. I am committed to changing the lot of women. And that is why what I'm wearing today is written, Women Committed to. I want to say that I'm very happy that we are discussing this as we are commencing the International Women's Day, which is coming on the 8th of March. And it is a reminder that it is a long journey. From 1975 in Mexico, right up to now. We moved to Copenhagen, we moved to New York, we were in Nairobi with the Nairobi forward-looking strategies. Honorable Kajwang, it has been a journey. And for some of us, it is a lifelong journey. I am committed to changing the lot of women. And that is why what I'm wearing today is written, Women Committed to Changing the Lot of Women. And I will not stop. I've said I'm not retiring from this because this is a cause for life. And so I'm encouraging my brothers, let's not trivialize this issue. These are your daughters. These are your mothers. I know wives, we have different stories. These are your daughters. These are your mothers. Please have empathy in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Great, and I think members, you have seen what debate can be. Honorable Kajwang still allowed Honorable Millie to have her story. Great. Now, let's have the Honorable